Residents of Beeston, Nottinghamshire, remain baffled by a peculiar monthly occurrence involving plates of peeled bananas left on a street corner near a church. The mystery has persisted for over a year, with the bananas consistently appearing on the second day of each month. The phenomenon, centered around the intersection of Abbey Road and Windsor Avenue, has caught the attention of local resident Clara Schott, who first noticed the pattern. To address the issue, she put up a sign that read, "Please, respectfully, no more bananas. The uncollected plates and rotting banana leave such a mess. Wishing a happy new year to you all." Despite her plea, the tradition continued on January 2nd, 2025, with yet another plate of bananas appearing at the usual spot. Schott shared her thoughts with the BBC, saying, "I've asked around in the local community, but no one really knows and no one can tell me anything. Speculation about the purpose of the bananas varies. Some residents believe the fruits may be intended as a gift for local wildlife, while others suspect it could be a religious offering due to the nearby church." While initially frustrated by the mess left behind, Schott has shortened her stance, remarking, "I don't want it to become a big thing. I think it's a special thing for someone and I wish them well. But if they could come back and clean up the mess a few days later, that would be lovely." The origin and intent behind the mysterious banana plates remain unsolved, leaving the community to wonder who or what is behind this curious ritual. Now, there's a church in Nigeria we've had several times when, where they'll say someone goes to the stream to leave Fanta and leave fruits and all of that to appease some spiritual entity. What are your thoughts on this?
I don't think it's anything really. I just think it's somebody who's playing a prank on everyone. I think they didn't mention that, but it's just funny. I don't think leaving bananas is a ritual or for wildlife or anything. I just think somebody is enjoying everybody's reaction to these bananas. Maybe they did it once and they did not think anything of it. And now everybody is freaking out and saying, "Oh, I think that this is ritual. I think you're doing this for..." And if I was putting those bananas, it would be fun, and I'll keep doing it on the second. And now I don't even know if it was really on the second, but somebody pointed that out, that this person was doing it on the second.
Right.
So I'm like, "Oh, you've given me a date. I think I'll do this on the second." I think that's what they're doing, really. But it's funny. I don't think it's anything serious.
But it's been going on for about a year.
Yeah, I mean, the longer the better, I guess. The longer the better, it's just bananas. But like they said, even if you're playing a prank, please clean up after yourself.
But don't you think if the person is cleaning up, the person will be caught?
Obviously, I'm trying to help them too. Obviously, if you come back to clean it now, people are watching. If you clean it the first month, they'll say, "Okay, it took him 7 days to come and clean it. Let's watch in 7 days." I don't think they can actually, since that it's on the second of every month, you can cap out and wait throughout the second now and see if you can get this person, since they already have a date. But I don't think it's anything really. It's just bananas. I don't think there's anything to it. And they leave it there to get rotten. So nothing is eating it. I don't think there's... I think it's just...
Now, in recent times, not so long ago, I think I did a story a week plus ago, where there was something that had to do with ritualism in the church. Someone killed someone and buried them in the church and all of that. Now, in this story, you see that they said the bananas were probably a ritual carried out by the church. How did Christianity, as it were, come to the point where they attach Christianity with things that seem like traditional practices, as it were? I know that in the Bible, being a Christian myself, they offered cows, they offered burnt offerings
before Christ
died. Why do you think the church is still in a state where people link such things to the church?
I don't know what church anybody offers sacrifices to. I don't know one. I've never been to a church where a sacrifice was offered, like a life thing was offered.
Like bananas.
Okay, like bananas. I mean, like Thanksgiving services, people bring these gifts for their pastors and stuff.
Right, but that is inside
the church. But I've never seen a church that leaves something outside, or like it's. And I think that another thing that we should look into is that just because people are taking up the name of church doesn't necessarily mean that they are serving God. The church is the people, it's not the person. Like, it's the people. We're a church. God is not the church. We are the church. So just because they said, oh, this is a church, it doesn't mean that it has anything to do with God. So it depends on what they're doing. Whatever they're doing in their church, to their God, if that's the case, really. And like you said, this conversation that you had sometime last about somebody burying...
Yes, burying a member of a church.
Inside a church.
Yeah, so they said it's called it crowd pulling ritual.
Clearly, we know that the person is not serving God. We clearly know that. They might have used God's name and all of that. But I feel like, you know how everybody knows that you cannot mess around with Muslims and not get repercussions for your action.
Right.
You can't do that. But the last time that God struck somebody dead, we read about it. We've never seen it happen. It wasn't in the Bible. So I feel like they take the name of God in vain because of how forgiving and loving and He is. So really, that's why everybody does the things that they do with the name of the church, in the name of God. It's because they know that He's going to forgive me anyway. It's not like He's going to strike me dead. And Christians, following in the footsteps of our Father, we're more forgiving as well. So when they're doing all these things, we're like, oh, wow. However, it's not the same for other religions. So you do know that you mess around with this religion, you have something coming your way.
Now, I want to ask you something I noticed a few months ago. Let's say about last year. Let's say last year. Now, in that thing, I'm not one to compare religions because every religion is unique. Everybody is serving what it is they believe, But a certain religion, someone made a post about the head of the circle or the leader of the religion, not necessarily the leader, like the practitioner for the religion, mistakenly he was trying to pray on someone. I think his hand mistakenly laid up, or the picture seemed like his hand was on her bosom. Now, someone posted it as a means of criticism, as it were, to say, why was his hand there? People that worship in that same religion with that person did not criticize the person that had his hands on the bosom. They went on to criticize the person that brought it to social media, on Twitter. Now, you are bringing the religion to disrepute, you're bringing the religion, you want us to be dragged, that was basically delete this and all of that was the discourse. Now, when you bring it to us as Christians, right, sometimes it's Christians that even bring things about Christianity to be dragged. What are your thoughts as regards the division in the religion of Christianity?
Really, if somebody did make a post like that, she saw something wrong in what the man of, did. And it's like I was saying to you sometime, I feel like if we all knew God for ourselves, we'd know what's best. If my pastor laid his hands on a woman's breast to pray, I know that what you're doing is wrong. You can speak a word and wonders would happen. You don't have to place your hands on a woman's breast to pray for her breast. I don't know if something's wrong. Maybe she has breast cancer or something. But you don't necessarily have to place your hands there. Now, these people who are the followers, it's almost like you're following your leader and not God. Because if something is wrong, you would address it.
Right.
You would not be bashing somebody who brought attention to this thing that's wrong. If you post something about my pastor that's wrong, I'm like, this is actually very wrong. I'm not going to come after you who posted it. This thing you did is actually wrong. I'm sorry, sir, but it's wrong. You know. So sometimes we're following our leaders and we're forgetting who he's leading us to. And I think that's one problem that most Christians have. We don't know God for ourselves.